Northwestern Mutual named the ship after its president and chairman of the board, Edmund Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald's own grandfather had actually been a lake captain on the Great Lakes, and his father owned the Milwaukee, a dry dock company which built and repaired ships. More than 15,000 people attended Edmund Fitzgerald's christening and launch ceremony on June 7, 1958, but the event or the launch had been plagued with several technical difficulties, such as the wine bottle smashing on the front of the ship, which took like 3 tries, and then the people of the dry dock workers not being able to knock off all of the launch blocks that allow the ship to go, to get launched into the water. When the ship did launch, the ship made a huge splash on the water, dousing the spectators, and then it crashed into the pier before rightening herself. One man watching the launching had a heart attack and later died. Other witnesses said that they swore the ship was trying to climb out of the water. On September 22, 1958, Edmund Fitzgerald completed 9 days of sea trials. Northwestern Mutual's normal practice was to purchase ships for operation by other companies. In Edmund Fitzgerald's case, they signed a 25-year contract with Ogle Bay Norton Corporation to operate the vessel. Ogle Bay Norton immediately designated Edmund Fitzgerald as the flagship of the Columbia Transportation Fleet. Edmund Fitzgerald was a record-setting workhorse, often beating her own milestone. The vessel's record load for a single trip was 27,402 long tons in 1969. For 17 years, Edmund Fitzgerald carried taconite from Minnesota's Iron Range mines near Duluth to ironworks in Detroit, Toledo, and other ports. She set seasonal haul records 6 different times. Her nicknames included Fitz, Pride of the American Side, Mighty Fitz, Toledo Express, Big Fitz, and the Titanic of the Great Lakes. Loading Edmund Fitzgerald with taconite pellets took about 4.5 hours, while unloading took around 14 hours. A round trip between Superior, Wisconsin and Detroit, Michigan usually took her 5 days, and she averaged 47 similar trips per season. The vessel's usual route was between Superior, Wisconsin and Toledo, Ohio. Although her port of destination could vary, by November 1975, Edmund Fitzgerald had logged an estimated 748 round trips on the Great Lakes and covered more than 1 million miles, a distance roughly equivalent to 44 trips around the world. Edmund Fitzgerald became a favorite of boat watchers throughout her career. Although Captain Peter Pulker was in command of Edmund Fitzgerald on trips when cargo records were set, he is best remembered for piping music day or night over the ship's intercom system while passing through the St. Clair and Detroit rivers while navigating the Sioux logs. He would often come out of the pilot house and use a bullhorn to entertain tourists with a commentary on details about the Edmund Fitzgerald. I also forgot to mention that I am reading off the Edmund Fitzgerald Wikipedia. Edmund Fitzgerald left Superior, Wisconsin at 2:15 p.m. on the afternoon of November 9, 1975, under the command of Ernest McSorley. She was en route to the steel mill on Zug Island near Detroit, Michigan, with a cargo of 26,000 long tons of taconite ore pellets, and soon reached her full speed at 16.3 miles per hour. Around 5 p.m., Edmund Fitzgerald joined a second freighter under the command of Jesse B. Bernie Cooper, Arthur M. Anderson, destined for Gary, Indiana, out of Two Harbors, Minnesota. The weather forecast was not unusual for November, and the National Weather Service, or NWS, predicted that a storm would pass just south of Lake Superior by 7 a.m. on November 10. By the next day, the storm has worsened, and now they're at least at the middle of the storm. During this time, Edmund Fitzgerald and Arthur M. Anderson were communicating with each other. Edmund Fitzgerald's last words were, "We're holding our own." How the way she sank is still unknown, since there is still no eyewitnesses, or there will ever be any eyewitnesses. Her wreckage was later found 4 days later, after November 10th, and was found that the ship had split in two. There were no bodies ever found on the shipwreck, and later the bell of the ship was raised, and just how Gordon Lightfoot had put it, and all that remains were the faces and the names of the wives and the sons and the daughters. Hope you enjoyed this video.